Imagine you're on a Jeep tour, driving through the mountains of Colorado. The guide points over to a peak and says, "See those steps on the side of that mountain right there? That's Manitou Incline." It has an elevation gain of 2,000 feet. It's almost a mile long, and you have to hike thousands of steps to get to the top. 2 people have died. Apollo Ohno ran it in just under 18 minutes, and it is one of the most extreme hikes that you can do. What would you do? Well, if you're me, you look right at your husband and say, "I'm definitely doing that." So Manitou Incline is a bit of an icon in this area of Colorado, partially because it's such an intense fitness challenge, hiking at such a steep grade.
About 400 steps in. Hey. We got this.
But also, it has some of the most incredible views. Even if you aren't a fitness buff, the views alone make it well worth it. The incline ascends on the east slope of the Rocky Mountains on the eastern flank of Pikes Peak. If you want another challenge after the incline, check out the 13-mile hike up Bar Trail to Pikes Peak. That one has also been added to our list. The trail itself is located in Colorado Springs. It is the remains of a former narrow railway. In 1990, the tracks were washed out during a rock slide. Currently, the top step is number 2,768. But we were told it changes with deterioration and maintenance. I gotta tell ya, it felt like 5,000 steps. Patrick and I both decided to do the incline, but we knew it was way too challenging for our kids. So we split up. I took my super adventurous Type 2 fun friend Nicole, and Patrick waited another week for his friend Brendan to fly into town for a quick visit. First, you have to make a reservation. And do not wait until the day of or the day prior. Reservations are easy to make on the City of Colorado Springs website. You can make them up to 7 days in advance right now, and it is totally free to hike. Also, I highly recommend early morning in the summer. Think like 6 to 7 a.m. Now for us, and maybe you, that means waking up before 4 a.m. in Denver to get to Colorado Springs by 6. But honestly, it's so worth it. Less traffic on the road, less traffic on the incline, and the weather is so much more amazing first thing in the morning before the sun is on your back. Parking is another animal. The ownership of the incline and its parking rights are pretty controversial. The land the incline sits on is actually owned by Colorado Springs at the base, Pikes Peak Cog Railway in the middle, and the top is managed by the U.S. Forest Service. So what does that mean for parking? Well, lucky you, they ask for proof that you did not park at the Bar Trail trailhead or the Cog Railway. They do have a parking lot and it has a free shuttle service. It's about a mile away and all of it is outlined in your confirmation email. It's going to cost you about $1 an hour to park in that lot, and I would give yourself about 3 to 5 hours. You're probably thinking, wait, why so long? It's less than a mile. But that brings me to another tip. Number 3, give yourself ample time to hike all the way up, take in the view, and then walk 3.5 miles back down the Bar Trail. Unless you're a frequent flyer up the incline, I just would not recommend going down the steps. You'll see people doing it and they fly, but it's just so steep. And the Bar Trail is beautiful. It means you can descend without steep steps, out of the sun, and without competing with the heavy traffic that comes up the stairway. So in total, you're probably looking at about 4.5 to 5 miles. That is no stroll. The average person hikes up the incline steps in about 30 minutes to an hour. Then you add another hour, maybe 2 for your hike back down Bar Trail. Minimum, that's your total time. Number 4, bring water. I actually didn't drink any water on the way up, but when I got to the top, I chugged it. I would also leave more water in the car. There's no water stops or bathrooms along the trail. This might be very popular, but it's still a hike in the woods. And the last one, number 5, altitude is no joke. I had been in Denver for almost 2 weeks before doing the incline, and it was a struggle. If you're a weekend warrior, like only visiting, and maybe you don't come from a place that has the altitude that Denver or Colorado Springs has, just make sure you prepare for that elevation gain and the workout at that altitude. Take lots of breaks and go at a pace slower than what you think you need. Drink plenty of water and know the signs of altitude sickness. The incline actually starts at 6,000 feet. That's about 1,000 feet above Denver, and it ends at over 8,000 feet. That's really high. Your body loves oxygen, and you know what there is less of at that altitude? Oxygen. There's actually more than 25% less oxygen than at sea level. I personally live in Florida. Air is my constant companion, so I was huffing it from the get-go. Less oxygen means your heart just works harder. That's great for training, but it's not so great if you do too much too fast.
So here's our experience in the Manitou Incline. It is not for the faint of heart. But if you're the kind of person that loves physical challenges, this is definitely a place for you to check out. In fact, we'd love to know what your time was. But guys, we appreciate you watching. Please be sure to subscribe, like this video, and we hope that you'll follow us on more of our travels.